Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
Can you see me?
We can.
What?
Give
Zoomed
us a wave.
in.
Eh?
I'm so zoomed in. Right, hold on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, we can see you that well that I can probably count your not, nose hairs. How was that so feckin' difficult to say?
Oh my god, why am I a little square? Right, I can't see you on my thing though.
No, you won't be able to because my webcam's being used by OBS.
Right, hold on. Let me just. How do I make it zoom out? Hold on. You can see all my trash in the background now.
I was just about to
Right, is
say,
that better?
was that Carlsberg that I saw in the background there?
Who?
Was that Carlsberg I saw in the background there?
Oh no, that's my can's a monster, mate.
Ah, I just see green cannon just. What sort of monster's green?
Oh, it's the new one.
What?
I don't know what it is. It's like Aussie lemonade.
Oh, I was going to say I don't think I've had that, but I think that would be a complete lie because I'm sure we've got them in the vending machine at work. But
Wait,
anyway,
what?
yeah, I'm sure we've got them in work's vending machine. I just don't remember it being. I don't remember it being green. Isn't the original monster green? No, it's a black can with green marks.
Yeah, and like Ripper used to be a black can with yellow, but now it's all yellow, and it's just like why? Makes me the best.
Right.
It's Ripper.
Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Hi guys.
episode 15 of the FTG podcast. Tonight we are joined by Muggle. Yeah, it's actually pronounced Moogle, but I just felt like I'd be a dick. Moogle, thank you very much for agreeing to come on. I know obviously we'd said a while back that we'll get you on here, and it's just been obviously sort of trying to arrange everything. Why don't you start off by telling us who you are and what do you do?
Uh, what personally on Twitch?
On Twitch.
I've only just come back. I've only just come back to Twitch, so I will be starting properly again tomorrow. But no, I
Ooh.
stream Final Fantasy, Resi. What else do I stream? I don't know, all sorts. A bit of variety, anything to get me a bit angry. So
Streams all sorts, but can only name two games. That's Moogle for you.
I'm not going to stream Overwatch because it makes me toxic. But yeah.
No, that's fair enough. What's I mean, I know obviously you had a big spell away from Twitch for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was I want to say over a year, or was it? It was around about a year, maybe.
I can tell you exactly when my last stream was. It was when Resi Village came out. I did a 24-hour, lasted 19 hours, and that's with my farewells. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was about a year ago now.
Yeah.
If anyone in the
Overwatch is a
chat
trash
wants
game. Sorry, I'm reading your chat. I'm just catching
to.
up.
Well, it does kind of help if you can see the chat as well. It saves me having to say, "Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, such and such said this, and that person said that." Yeah. So obviously you were away from Twitch for a while. But I'm pretty sure you were on Twitch before I started. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought so because I remember meeting you quite
So
early on to when I joined.
when I first went on Twitch, I think it just turned into Twitch because apparently it used to be Justin TV.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really know anything about it. So like the people I used to speak to back then, they got me set up on like I used to have like a gaming laptop and stuff, so it was easier.
Yeah.
And then I kind of took a break, and then I got PS4, started on that for a bit. But affiliate never used to be a thing. Like making money was never a thing on it unless you had like a YouTube following,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. So you could bring ads in.
Oh,
And
okay.
then lockdown happened. I came back and I made affiliate within a month. And I was just like, hey, let's turn up.
What is
Yeah,
it?
I know it hasn't been that for a long time, but I'm quite old.
I mean,
So yeah.
please don't say that you're quite old because you're younger than I am. So if you're quite old, I mean, all right, I think there's what, maybe about 14 months difference between us, give or take. Huh?
Yeah, it changed to Twitch in 2012. So I think I started in 2013. First game I did was Final Fantasy 7, then 8, then I did 10, then I went to 9, and then my laptop died.
The
So
first
I quit.
game that you ever streamed was Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, and I thought I was so popular with my 4 viewers.
I mean, Jesus, mate. I mean, talk about setting the bar high. Starting out
Hmm.
with Final Fantasy 7. I mean, what? How do you follow that up? Where do you go from there?
Exactly.
Well,
And
Final Fantasy
then
8, apparently.
yeah, I did 8, but I didn't do 9. I don't know why, but I remember when, because Final Fantasy 10 just got released on the PS3 or was it PS4, like it got remastered, and I
Oh
was so
yeah,
pumped for it.
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I mean, this is really taking me back. Because I remember Final Fantasy X first coming out when it came out on the PlayStation 2, and I want to say that was about
Hmm.
I want to say 2002, 2003, something like that. It was early into the 2000s, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, when it got remastered is when I went on Twitch.
Right. What I mean, obviously Final Fantasy 7, massive game, massive game.
Hmm.
Takes you like what 40, 50 hours if you're good at it to beat it. What was it about
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 7 that made you decide that was what you were going to start out with?
because I knew it was popular. And I find it easy to beat. I can do it in like, I think I can do 100% in like 17 hours.
What?
So yeah, everyone level 99, all the best weapons, yada yada yada.
How?
But I can defeat Emerald Weapon in 3.5 minutes. So that's what everyone like came to see, and I was just like, yeah, let's go. Come coffee. But yeah,
I mean, I
not to
used to
brag.
think that I was good at Final Fantasy games. 17 hours. I'm not even sure I'd clear disc 1 in 17 hours.
I used to like ham the game though. It's like, yeah, but I did like what I think 2 years ago during lockdown. I did a 12-hour stream of Final Fantasy 9. I had to put it in times 3 speed though. I did it in 11 hours 29 minutes. But I did get
Jesus.
lost for like half an hour. I forgot on disc 3 where to go. I can't
You,
remember the name of the castle, but it's where everything's upside down. Absolute pain in the ass. So I had to get the chat to back seat.
I mean, you must have been playing these Final Fantasy games for a hell of a long time then.
Yeah, so I've got OG copies. I've got 2 of Final Fantasy 7, 1 of 8, 1 of 9. 10's disappeared. Don't know where that went. I've got 10 too. 12 I never really bothered with. I fell out of love with it. But yeah, the greatest games were the old ones. I said what I said.
No, I mean, I'll agree with that. I can't remember the last Final Fantasy game I played. It wasn't 13. I know that much. I've played one after that. Whether it was 13-2 or 13 Lightning Returns, I'm not sure. But I wouldn't say that I necessarily fell out with them. I think I made the mistake of comparing the more recent ones to the older ones. And I think for me, it's like comparing the remade Resident Evil games to the original Resident Evil games. They're great games, but they're not the
Yeah.
originals. And I think I'm not saying that we're like ancient or out like that, but obviously when you've been
No,
playing
but we
games
know what
for
we're talking about.
no, exactly, and when you've been playing those kind of games, especially for the amount of times that we have, I just don't think you can replace the originals, no matter what you do with them.
Yeah. So like, yeah, but it goes back to Tomb Raider as well. The remakes of Tomb Raider that came started on the PS3.
Hmm.
Not saying I'm a fan. I don't like the voice actress. She doesn't sound right. She doesn't look right. Her whole attitude's wrong. Like I said, what I said. Like I don't care if you got triangular boobs or not. You're not Lara Croft.
I think what does bode well for me though with these remade games, the likes of the Tomb Raider series, the Resident Evil series. I would include Final Fantasy in that, but so far we've had a portion of Final Fantasy 7 and beck all else. Part 2, where are you?
Yeah.
What I do like
I don't think
about
it's gonna
these.
happen.
No?
No.
Oh, it has to,
It's gonna
sure.
take years. Because the guy that's doing it, I don't know if he's still doing it. The guy that's doing it is the one that did Kingdom Hearts, and we had to wait over 10 years for Kingdom Hearts 3, and it was a big letdown. It looked good, it played well, but nothing was answered, and the game was too easy.
But that said, how long has Final Fantasy VII Remake been a thing for now? Not how long's it been out, how long's it been a thing for? Because they've been
So
talking
it was
about
teased, I think, when the PS3 was released, but that was just to show how good the graphics were.
Yeah.
That was never ever meant to be a thing, but everyone hyped it up for years so much. They finally did it. But yeah, the guy that's doing it is Tetsuya Nomura, whatever his name is. Who, yeah, you're good at what you do, but give it to somebody else that can make it better. Because 7 is not a remake, it's a reimagination. They've changed everything. They've changed the story completely.
Do you know what? I can agree with that. I mean, I've not finished it as yet. So it came out, and I pre-ordered it. Pre-ordered the digital deluxe edition. So you can imagine how much it cost me. You know, we're talking a good. I think I paid about 85 quid for it. 85, 90 quid for it.
It was 90 quid. I got it.
90 quid. There we go. And it dropped, and I absolutely battered it. And you know what? I was really enjoying it. Again, you know, old way of thinking. I'm like, yeah, it's a great game, but it's not Final Fantasy VII Original. And I got up to Tower, what's it called? Shinra Building.
Yeah.
So to what I know of where Part 1 ends, like, I'm not far off finishing it.
Wait, you haven't finished it?
No. So I was battering it and battering it and battering it. Got up to the Shinra Building. I put it down for whatever reason, and just ever since, I've just not been able to find any motivation to pick it back up. I think it's probably because I know, number one, I know that I'm not far off the end anyway, and number two, it's not the complete story.
Yeah.
Now, for me...
Have you seen what happens, though?
No.
I know. Sorry, I'm just reading your chat.
What, is it? What, is there something that happens in the remake that doesn't happen in the original?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think the most disappointing thing for me is, obviously, if they were going to do it in 3 parts, fair enough, it's going to be in 3 parts. I'm not a big fan of that, because then, you know, if I've paid £90 for part 1, you can assume that the other 2 will be there or thereabouts, about the same price. This game's going to cost me nearly £300. If you're going to split it into 3 parts like that, I would have assumed that part 1, basically, I'd have thought that they'd have done a part for each disc.
That's essentially how they're doing it. But it makes no sense of how they're going to do open world, because the game would be too big. It'd have to be in 10 parts, if that's the case. Because you think about, after Midgar, you've got, I can't remember what the little village is called, and then you've got the bit with the farm, where you get your Chocobo farm thing. Then you've got the big snake pit that you have to run over. And then what's after that? You can go do, what is it, the Condor thing?
Yeah.
And then it's like the whole Yuffie bit and the Vincent bit, technically, they're optional characters. Yeah, from 7, that's when they made them proper characters. People love them so much, but I still don't understand why everyone loves Vincent so much. But that's like a story for another day.
Right, I'm curiosity is killing me. You're gonna have to tell me what this thing that doesn't happen in the original is.
So basically, they changed the end. I only played it once. I can't remember it that well. But basically, they imply that Eris, whatever you want to call her, she's not going to die. And instead, they imply that it'll be Red 13. That's how I read it anyway, because they show flashbacks of the original game. So you think about when you finish the original, you get past the credits, you see Red 13 with all his kids. They show that. So that's not going to happen. You see, I think it's something to do with Aerith. She's not going to die. That's what they're implying anyway. But that's fine with me. Kill off Tifa. I don't like Tifa. She hoe bag. I know hoe's got a hoe, but...
I wondered how long it'd take for that sentence to come out. But no! Like, no! I'm sorry, I know everybody liked Aerith, and so do I, right? Don't get me wrong. I think she's an absolutely brilliant character. You can't keep her alive. Right, we're talking about a remade version of Final Fantasy VII. For me, when I first got around to playing that game, I never saw that coming. Like the end of disc 1, I never saw it coming.
How could
Completely
you not
knocked me
see it
off
coming?
my
It's on
feet
the back of. It's on the back of the package.
because
The
I
back of
played it
the
digitally.
box, whatever you want to
I,
call it.
I played it digitally. I never
Oh.
had the box.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I never predicted that happening. I think it's of every single game that I've played so far. I think that's one of the most shocking plot twists that I've known. So if you're going to remake that game, how can you?
Sorry, I'm just rearranging my headset. Carry on. I can hear
That's
you.
all right. If you're going to remake that game, how can you take out one of its, for me, one of its biggest plot points? I don't see where it makes sense.
Well, it'd have a bigger impact if they killed off Tifa, because everyone loves her so much.
Impact to the
If you think
fans,
about it.
maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Because it doesn't make sense at the end. Sorry, spoiler alert, you end up fighting Sephiroth. That makes no sense. He's not technically alive yet. You haven't got the black materia. You haven't awakened him. Or the weapons, so how's that going to work? Why is he there?
Yeah, why is
Said
it?
what I said. Apparently it's an image of him
I mean,
and all this kind of stuff, but him and Aerith like make contact as if they're just like, yeah, we're going to change the story. And it's just like, okay then, cool. I don't know.
no,
I'm a bit skeptical of it all.
I'm not
I
liking the
can't say
sound of this at all.
I was not thrilled about it, but everyone else was pumped, so I'll just be on my own.
Oh, mate, I'm right there with you. I completely agree with how you described it earlier on now as well as a completely reimagined game as opposed to a remake.
Yeah.
Because it's
Like,
just...
the best part of it was the Honeybee Inn. How they redid that was really good.
Yeah, I did like that.
Like,
that was funny.
it was funny, but it was like, I don't know, I can't think of the word, but like, it made you more gripped to the game and such, just because it was like the comedic effect and actually the bit afterwards as well when they fall down. Just like, oh,
Yeah.
well, who's he going to talk to? He's going to talk to Tifa or Aerith. You get to choose. And then that will lead to like a little like dream thing he will end up having. So I chose right, but I don't know what everyone else did.
I actually can't remember what I chose now. I mean, when I say I've not played it since release, like that's no exaggeration. I have not touched it since release. I keep saying that I'm going to go back to it eventually, but I've been saying that for... Oof. I
They
mean, how
finally
long's
put it
it
on
been out
PC,
now?
didn't they?
I believe it is on
Because
PC. Yeah.
yeah, because it was meant to be PlayStation exclusive for a year. It was meant to come to Xbox and PC, but it took them over a year. And then, is it called Intermission, the bit with Yuffie, the little DLC thing?
Yeah.
Then that came out, but then that was only on PS5, which I did not have. And I was just like, okay, wonderful. Well, I can't play that. But like I think the whole point of that was test out how she would play. But the guy that's also in that car watching them play it is to test out how Sid would work,
Oh, right. Okay.
because he ends up having like a staff or whatever you call it, a rod. But yeah,
I think one of the things that really wound me up was obviously, like I said, I got the deluxe digital copy. I don't know why I really struggled saying
yeah. So
that.
you got Carbuncle and someone else to summon.
Yes. However,
Yeah, that's why I got it.
about a year or so later, it was one of the free games with the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, but it wasn't the
Okay.
deluxe one, and you
I
couldn't
mean,
get
is
a
there a
free
huge
upgrade to the
difference?
PS5.
I suppose.
Do you know what I mean? Because obviously that was when the time was, oh, you could put all of your games from PS4 on the PS5 if you own it. But if you had it on PS Plus, you don't get that luxury because you never paid for the game.
Yeah. That stands to reason. I can appreciate that. Tried one of the Final Fantasy games, can't remember which one it was, and it was shit, so don't bother with. I mean, this bitch is asking for another time
I
out.
don't wait, what? Tried one of the. Right, okay.
All I'm going to say there, Raza, is I would get yourself a brace prepared for July. That's all I'm saying. What was it? What was it in particular about Final Fantasy that brought you to the franchise?
I don't know, like I remember my brothers playing it when I was little. So how old was I when the PS1 came out? I think I was between the ages of 4 and 6. I don't know what year it came out.
You'd have been.
And
I think it came out in '94.
it was either 94 or 96. So I'm 31 now, someone can do the math for me. And then I remember the only games we had was Tomb Raider, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut, and then we had Final Fantasy 7. But I think they were released 1996.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Resident Evil 1 was '96. And I'm sure.
yeah, that was the first like horror game I played and gave me nightmares.
Well,
That
yeah.
first zombie fucked me up for years.
Moogle, you'd have been
was so
5 year
little.
old. Of course it would have gave you nightmares.
Like, fucked me up. And then I remember when Resi 3 come out, because I don't really remember playing much of 2. We had it, but we had the demo, because the Resident Evil 2 demo, I'm pretty sure it was like in the director's cut edition of 1.
Yeah, you got to
I
play
remember
like the
playing
first
that.
10 minutes of Leon.
And then 2 come out, my brother bought it, but I don't remember playing it. I remember him playing it, and then 3 came out, and I was old enough then to kind of play. And then the first time you see Nemi come through that window in the police station, fucking shit me up.
I mean, you say that you were old enough. That came out in 1999, remember? And it's I want to say it's a 18 rated
So I was
game, actually.
8.
I'm sure the
Is
originals
it? I
are
thought it was a
rated
15.
18. No, I think the remakes, or it's the other way round. The originals are rated 15, but the remakes are rated 18. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
Either way, no, you weren't old enough, not by a stretch.
No, I wasn't old enough, but like I was old enough to understand what the fuck's going on.
To be fair,
And I
though,
was just like, oh, Jill.
with stuff like game ratings and whatnot, it was for me. It was a different time back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But I think the biggest one was Manhunt when that came out, 'cause I got banned.
Yeah,
So I never got to play it.
that wasn't too far off. But I don't
But
think
the
it had
same
been
as
out for
Bully.
huge
It's not called
amounts.
Bully anymore. It came out on the PS2. It's called something else. It used to be called Bully, and you're a school kid made by a Rockstar. And you can just beat shit out of everybody. It was great. But then that got banned, and then came back as it called something else instead.
I can picture it. It's like some sort of school badge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's blue and gold.
Yeah.
Someone Google it. Someone will know.
I'm gonna Google it myself. Ah, shit! No, I better not do that. Yeah, I did just bring up my internet browser to look, but no, that's my side. So, in order to capture your camera onto OBS, what I've got to do is pop your webcam window out, but I have to have it in focus for it to show. So if I take that window out of focus, then your webcam won't show. So I'm not going to be able to Google it.
Someone else can.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Alan!
As I get on it, Rain, get on it.
I mean, he's sat there. He sat there rolling his eyes as soon as I've said his name. He's got my laptop on his knee and he was typing away. The bitch is going to pretend like he wasn't Googling it anyway. Now,
what Bully's called now? It's not called Bully anymore.
While they're finding out, Final Fantasy VIII, right now, number 8, for whatever reason, gets a lot of grief. And I'm going to answer everybody's problem with it in one simple sentence. Because everybody moans about the junction system and how you can make yourself really overpowered really early. Well,
that's not the issue.
Just don't.
No, the issue is that people don't understand junctioning. And actually, it's fairly easy if you actually listen to Quistis. But, or just Google it, but people refuse to do that and just struggle instead and be like, oh, it's a shit game, shit story. And actually, Squall is a very relatable character to anyone in their 30s. You want to be on your own, you want to be miserable. So, yeah. Yes, that's what it's called.
The people that I've spoke to that have badmouthed it, it's not understanding junctioning. It's that you can make yourself really strong really early into the game, which you can. Fair enough. That is something that you can do because I remember
if you know what
I used to do it. But therein lies my point. If you know how to do it, but you don't like it, don't do it. It's not
Mm.
it's not a difficult conclusion to come to, because it's not. Personally, I don't think it's something that you can do accidentally. You have to know what you're doing in order to do it. So that means that
Kind
you
of.
know how to not do it.
I think it's more of an issue that the enemies scale with your level as well.
But see,
So
I find that a really intriguing concept.
I think it's a good thing. The only issue is if you're trying to use selfie for her limit, you
Hmm.
have to do certain things at certain times at level 70 to like 90. You can't max her out because
Yeah.
she won't end up doing the end or whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't use her, but you
I
know what I'm
don't.
getting at. Like
So I thought her limit was just. I thought it was sheer luck.
no, so you can get it to pop up instantly every
Oh.
fight, and it'll wipe out a mega weapon, ultimate weapon, yada yada yada. The two hardest things in the game, like easy.
So
But she has to be between level 30 and 50, and you have to kill so many Grendels or some shit. And then she also has to either be between 70 and 90 that have killed so many other things. I don't know. I remember looking it up ages ago. I was just like, how are people using her constantly? It makes no sense.
so
Because you have
if
to be
you
quick, obviously. But
if you do very specific things with selfie, then
yeah, so
selfie's basically Final Fantasy VIII Yojimbo.
kind of. So Quiztis also has a move like it as well. I can't remember what it's called.
Shockwave
It's
Pulsar.
like the generator or something. You
Mm.
can literally one hit everything but bosses.
Oh, really?
So for you to get like the pulse ammo, and certain things that you need for Squall's final weapon.
Yeah.
That you know the big bird thing that you fight in Dolet. I can't remember what it's called. It's you have to fight about 80 of them and use the generator on them, and you'll get the item. So you need moonstones and energy crystals. That's the only thing you can get them from.
Yeah.
And you have to do that when you're in Esther, because there's one enemy that will constantly just keep respawning, and he'll turn into one. Sorry, my nerd's coming out now, because that's what I have to do. But that's the only time you'll use her, because you can't have Renoa in the party at that point. But the best thing as well to get Renoa to use Shooting Star, you don't have her learn any of the mags apart from the first one. So she'll do the little dog cannon thing. Do
Yeah.
not let her learn anything else until Shooting Star or Wishing Star, whatever it's called. And she'll do it near enough every time when you're fighting the last boss. But yeah.
Wow. I honestly thought that I knew that game inside out. Clearly, I don't.
Yeah.
But to be honest, both Selfie and Renoa, they're not really characters that I used. For the
So
longest
who are
while.
your OG characters then that you use at the end, your OPs?
Okay, so originally, when I was playing
Mm-hmm.
it Yonks back when I was playing it on the PS1, it was Squall, Irvine, Zell, and I think that's just because it was all the dudes. More
Right,
recently,
okay.
more recently, I've swapped out Zell for Quistis, which tactically might not be the best of ideas. I just think that Shockwave Pulse is a fucking move and a half. I love that move.
Mm.
And as
But getting
far,
that, you can't really get that till end game. That's the issue, because then you
yeah,
have to
true. But as far as I'm
what you call it to
aware,
ultimate weapon.
that's the only move in the game, barring Eden, that can break the damage limit.
Yeah. But you don't really need to do that. Because even to get
True.
Eden to break the damage limit, you have to get into level 100, and who's got time for that? Realistically, trying to get through the game, being as OP as possible. So, yeah, who are we waving at?
You said, who's got time for that?
Oh, sorry.
Not
It's
I
obviously a
always
little bit
do.
delayed on the laptop, so
So, whenever I play through Final Fantasy VIII, I never
yeah,
fight Omega Weapon until I've completely maxed out everything because I want him as strong as possible.
yeah. But also, you want to be on level 99, not level 100, because there's level 5 death. So, yeah.
Again, didn't know that.
Yeah, so his move, he has this very he has a move set, so you always know what he's going to do. But if he throws in a punch, it'll throw you off. So you have to make sure this is why you have to play cards, guys. I know people hate cards, but it's the best one for cards. It's so you can get your holy wars and make yourself invincible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you
Again,
can't be hit.
I don't understand why people have an issue with cards. I love cards. I
But
think it's
people
one
like
of the
cards
best
in
minigame.
9, and it makes no sense because the ones in 9 don't make any sense. The numbers don't make sense. The letters don't make sense.
See,
But in 8, it's simplified.
9, I don't think. I remember playing a bit of it. Is it the one where you start off in some sort of school and you fight your first fight's like a headmaster or something like that?
What, 9?
Mm.
No. So in 9, you first start playing cards when you're in when you're in Treno. So that's where the card area is. And I can't remember what it's called because I hate it. I refuse to do it. But no, it's like really difficult. It's like basically playing on random because your
Oh no,
cards will always be weaker than the enemies.
I'm talking like literally the very beginning of the game, because I think
No, you're
that's
in
the
Alexandria and you're playing as Phoebe instead of Zidane.
what game am I thinking of then?
I don't know, 8 starts in school.
I think I'd know if I was talking about 8.
I don't know, but you.
I've put an hour or two into 8, just because I don't know it like the back of my hand like you do. Which
But
has there been any of the Final Fantasy games that you've played and you've not liked?
13. I didn't like 13 till 20 hours in. Just because it's so slow. People whinge about 10 being so like linear because you can't travel anywhere, but actually you can. It's just not open world. You can still pop to whatever area you need to. But with 13, you can't do that until you get to, I can't remember what it's called, but there's loads of behemoths there,
Yeah,
and
the
then that's
big
when the game gets
planes.
actually interesting. But it's just so it's boring. And for you to get the story, you have to read every data log, and there's like 50 to 100 of them. I ain't got time for that. Just tell me. The game's long enough. And then they made another 2 games. 13.2 was okay. I enjoyed it. But I like soft lock myself into like some hard stuff. I was doing extras and I didn't actually finish it properly. I didn't 100% it. And then Lightning Returns I didn't bother with. 12 was okay. But I didn't play that until like 2 years ago.
All
But
right. Is that?
that's also a very game.
I mean, to be honest, I bang on about how much I like Final Fantasy. To be completely honest with you, I barely even scratched the surface of it. I've 100%ed 7.
Well, yeah, there's hundreds.
Well, yeah, true. I've 100%ed 7. I've done it on 8. I've done it with 10. I've completed 13.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be it. Like, I genuinely think that I've played quite a lot of 10 too, but I don't know if I've ever finished it. In fact, I want
And
to say
2
I
is a
didn't.
fantastic game.
Well,
It is a fantastic game.
apparently, it's also got one of the hardest super bosses in the series as well. I think.
Probably, I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a while.
I can't think of the name of it, but
But
I just remember. I remember watching a top 10 list on YouTube of top 10 hardest Final Fantasy super bosses, and I'm sure there was one in 10 too that was in like the top 4 or something like that.
I think now,
I th-
maybe.
I'm pretty sure number 1,
There's some hard fights now.
from what I can remember, number 1 on that list was I can't think of the name. Some kind of big fucking sphere thing from Final Fantasy 6. Oh, was it 6?
No, I haven't played 6. I played the beginning of 6, but I
Yeah.
couldn't get into it. Apparently, that's one of the best ones to play. I will try again at some point when I get it. But
Well, apparently this super boss, it's all RNG. Apparently, this boss apparently has got the ability to just instantly wipe out your entire party. Like at any given point in the fight, you don't know if it's coming, you don't know when it's coming, but he can just apparently click his fingers, bam, you're all dead, game over.
what's this in? Final Fantasy 6?
I
I'm
believe
googling it.
so. Like I said, I don't remember the name of it. I just remember it being this like big sphere thing. And do you know what the move it uses to wipe you out? I'm sure it's something like Holy or Ultimate or something like that. It uses like a very common Final Fantasy move, but it just wipes you clean out.
I don't think it's on 6, because 6 super boss in that's a dragon, apparently.
Maybe it was 5 then.
Oh, hold on, no wait. Oh, no, I found it. Oh, it's like Ozma. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
I really want to have a go at it, but at the same time, I'm not so sure it's a good idea for me to try that fight, and I'm not so sure that it's a good idea for you to try that fight either. Just simply because of rage. Like, can you imagine you spend half an hour on that
No,
fight and then it just wipes you out?
I'd love it. Doesn't matter. I'd go again.
No, I'd
I'm
be
so I'm
furious.
so I'm so competitive. I've got to do it. I've got to be best. It's like So when I did 9, so I did 9 during lockdown.
Hmm.
So this is before I was doing the whole Resi thing, and like I met all of you guys. Um, so everyone was basically saying to me like backseating the hell out of me with 9, even though I've played it like about 10 times. They were just like, "Oh, you got to do Ozma, 'cause that's the super boss." But I've got to go do all the friendly. It's like friendly like fiends, animals, whatever you want to call it. And I refused to do it. And they were like, "You can't defeat Ozma without it." I was like, "Yes, I can, because it will make Ozma weaker." Even though I think he's only got 69,000 HP. He's like near impossible to hit without certain characters. And the characters I chose were all ones that can't hit him.
Okay.
So I was just like, I'll do it, no problem. And I did it. It took me 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And I think there's a clip of me just screaming down the microphone, like, I fucking did it.
Well, I tell you
And
what.
you just hear me shouting at people in the chat, like, fuck you.
Well, since we're on the topic, I want to see if you agree with my sentiments on this. Penance.
Okay.
Not difficult.
I never made it.
No?
No. So I got burnt out on Final Fantasy 10.
Okay.
So I was doing a race, and the person I was racing against, they had it on Steam, and they could get 10 times speed. However, I'm on PS4. I don't have that luxury, and I decided to choose the expert sphere grid, which I should have chose the basic one, so you get more nodes.
Yeah.
And because I can't do the whole whacker thing with the blitzball, I can't use whacker. So there's a certain enemy. It's like an underwater and dead enemy that you get in the, you know
Shinru.
what thing I'm talking about.
Yeah, Shinru.
That thing, yeah. You have to keep fighting it about 50 times to get so many. I think is it luck nodes? I don't know. Luck spheres, whatever. And I can't do it because obviously you've got underwater characters, and Waka is weak compared to the other two that can hit 100,000 damage. So I kept
Never used
losing.
luck.
So I never got round to it because I couldn't get past, what is it called? Dark Anima.
Yeah.
I got past the rest of them. Major Sisters, Piece of Purse. The rest of them, Piece of Purse. But Anima, Yojimbo, and Bahamut I couldn't do. So I could never get to Penance.
See, luck was never a stat that I bothered grinding on Final Fantasy X because I don't believe that you need it. So I used to max out, obviously, strength defense, magic defense. Never bothered with magic because you don't really use much magic when you're fighting the super bosses. It's all based on your physical attacks. Accuracy, agility. That might have been it. Oh, no, there was one more. Evasion. Obviously, evasion. Although when you
Yeah,
come to
you
the
need
super
that.
bosses, it's negligible anyway.
Yeah, because when you fight Dark Shiva, she's hard to hit,
Yeah,
but she'll hit you every time because hers is maxed out.
but then what I used to do was anytime I'd go into a Dark Aeon fight, the Nemesis fight, or the Penance fight, first thing that I do is cast Ultra Null All because it casts the what is it? Cheer, aim, and focus
Times
times
5.
five, which does actually make a difference even with max stats.
Oh
The
yeah.
the Penance fight, it was a case of because you don't need ribbon for Penance. You use You don't need to break the HP limit. You don't need
Getting
ribbon.
ribbon was pain in the ass.
Yeah, absolute ball ache. What I used to use was auto haste, auto protect, auto potion, and defense plus 20. You can't. You sort of need defense plus 20 for penance because otherwise he'll wipe you out if you've not
Yeah.
got the break HP limit. And
And
then,
make sure you
like I
got quick
said,
hit.
yeah, I just don't believe that penance is a difficult fight. I just think it's time consuming.
It's just long.
You're talking a good 35-40 minute fight. Um,
Hmm.
but one,
You need to play. You need to play 12. The super boss in that. Fucking hell. Yasmat. Pain in the ass. Bear in mind, I broke the game when I played it, and I still can do it. It's like a 12-hour fight.
you broke. What do you mean you broke the game?
So there is a weapon you can get in 12.
Hmm.
I can't remember what it's called. It's a bow and arrow, but it's invisible. And you have a 0.000 like 6% chance of ever opening the box that has it in. But there's a way to break the game so you can get it.
Okay.
It's all to do with numbers that run in the background. It's the same with 8, with the whole selfie thing. It's all to do with numbers that run in the background. There's stuff to do like with that as well, to do with 7, but I can't remember what. But I YouTubed it, did it, and got one. I got 2 of them, and then a Zodiac Sphere. And I was just like, right, I'm good to go. Let me fight this fucker. And he wiped me out within 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I was just like, shit.
So it was well worth doing then, yeah?
Well, yeah, because I blasted through the rest of the game. It's amazing. Nothing was a challenge. I was just like, right, let's go. Because you have a thing called gambits. So it'd be like 30, you never actually have to do anything. You just press attack and go.
Yeah.
But with the gambit system, it's set, you can set it up in a way so you've got all of them attacking. As soon as one of them gets hit, one of them will be healing. But a lot of people shit on certain characters in that game, which makes no sense to me. Like the main 2 that you have, the 2 kids, they're just like, oh, they were added to the game because they had no like young characters in the game. They have no like relevance to the story. And then I played the game and I was just like, what are these people on about? Like, they're like hype. Loved them.
See, 12's one that my older brother really tried getting me to play. He comes into the channel every now and again, actually. His username, it used to be Lieutenant. It's now Daddy Bash. Do you pronounce it?
Right, okay.
But he probably played 12. I'd go out on a limb and say more than what I played 10. Like at one point, that was the only game he would play. He would not play anything else. It was Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably
Like, it's not a bad game. It's just a bit boring, in my opinion. It's very Star Wars like. I'm not a fan of Star Wars, sorry guys.
I can see what you mean by that. I think for me it was just simply a case of, well, that's his game. Like 10 was mine, 12 was his. Never really wanted to get into it. I'll probably try it at some point. Which one was that? 12, sorry,
12.
yeah.
12 can be easy if you want to make it easy by knowing how to work the gambit system.
Yeah.
But it's similar to 8. Know how to use a junction system, you make the game easy. But it's like the same with the whole summoning thing in 12. You have to fight them to acquire them. And some of them are fucking difficult to do. Like, very, very difficult.
I sort of like that idea, though. Like, sort of test your strength against them before they decide whether or not they're going to join you. I like the idea of that.
Yeah, kind of.
As opposed to just,
But you can have other enemies joining in. That's the issue. Because it's very open. It's not, the screen changes and you get in a fight. It's none of that. Other enemies will just join in. So it makes it 10 times more difficult.
Right, okay.
There's one that looks like a goat. Baphomet or whatever it's called. And it took me ages. Fucking ages.
I think that's the one I try. Probably not the best first one for you to try.
If you're going to try a Final Fantasy game, you need to try 10. It's the easiest one to break into because they all speak. They've all got voices and it's colourful and it's easy to understand.
Yeah, I was going to say 10.
Everyone always says 7, but 7's more difficult to get into.
Yeah.
because you don't. It's old. You don't have the whole voice acting thing. It's not going to explain to you exactly where to go, whereas 10 will. It will hold your hand throughout the majority of the game.
Yeah, definitely the most user friendly, without any shadow of a doubt.
But yeah.
Right, Resident Evil. Have
Oh
you?
god, here we go.
You knew that it was going to be spun around to Resident Evil at some point.
Hmm.
Um, have you either played or watched Resident Evil 4 remake?
I've watched it. I haven't played it because I refuse to pay that much for a game.
Thoughts?
I enjoyed looking at it. I won't
Okay,
lie.
so you enjoyed looking at Leon.
Yeah, and actually, she was alright.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of which, actually, obviously this is a lot of people don't like the Ashley character in the original, and I can understand why.
Leon,
Oh, she's a pain in the
help!
ass. I I now refuse to play professional without having the armor costume because she will die.
It's near impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she will kill that rug for you. So I will not do it without the armor costume anymore. Um, I think what they've done with her in the remake though, they've developed a character quite a lot. But I mean, you could say that about a lot of the remake characters. To be fair, 10 isn't easy. Oh God, no, it's not.
I didn't want to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Um, yeah, it's not an easy game. It's user friendly. There's a very big difference. Um,
And the story's good for it as well. Like, said what said. But
I completely lost
I
what I was
enjoyed the
saying.
story.
Oh, Ashley. They did a lot with her character. She's nowhere near as annoying.
Hmm.
Sort of enjoyed the
The whole
bit.
character development of Ashley was so much better.
Yeah, yeah. They've for me they've sort of
Same
made
as
her.
same as Lewis though. I liked him.
Oh, he was awesome. He was
The way he
awesome.
went out. Oh my god, what a fucking champ!
Yeah. Do you know what that? And I
With that
remember.
cigarette.
Yeah, that for me. Because obviously we'd all seen the trailer. We'd seen the part in the carts later on when you're in the mines, and
Yeah, which I
Lewis is
found a bit
there
odd
with
when I
you.
first seen it.
Yeah, because Lewis is there with you, and everyone's thinking, but he's dead at that point. Like he's
Hmm.
been killed by Sadler. What's going on? And the assumption was, well,
But
he
it ain't
doesn't get
sadly
killed.
this time.
Yeah. Um, the assumption was he doesn't get killed. Sorry, spoiler alert, I should have said. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that anyone that's in here right now has probably seen Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Yeah, if you haven't, I'm sorry, but where you been?
Yeah.
Like, go out,
Like,
touch some grass.
how have you been on Twitch these last few weeks without seeing Resident Evil 4 Remake? Like, it's been everywhere.
Same as YouTube, like everywhere. Everyone uploaded it.
See, what I wanted to see whether you agreed with or not, and I've been
Hmm.
saying this now the last week or so because I don't know if you've noticed, I've not really played an awful lot of it on stream.
Yeah.
I played it on release day. And I
Hmm.
think I did quite a long stream of it actually. I think I did a good eight or so hours, and then carried on for a little bit afterwards. I think I streamed it for about 10 hours in total on release day. I've only beaten it on
Jeez.
stream once. In fact, I've only beaten it once. For me, when I finished my first playthrough, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic remake. I think I went as far as to say it's probably the best one that they've remade so far. And
Yeah,
sudden,
definitely.
all of a sudden, for me, and I don't know what it is, it's got very old very quickly. Now, whether that's
Yeah, but that was the same with me for 8.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed 8. Loved it. It was much better than 7 in my opinion. I had my issues with it, sure, but at least they gave Ethan some character.
yeah,
Um, and I was sad at the end of that. Not gonna lie.
yeah,
But
so was I.
could I replay it? No, because it wasn't that gripping of a story, and the bits that I didn't enjoy pissed me off too much.
Factory?
That I was stuck in there for an hour because I somehow locked myself into a maze of I can't get out. on my first playthrough. So I don't know how, but my ex had to basically come in and take over my stream for like a good 20 minutes to work out what the fuck I've done.
Yeah, I got lost in the factory on my first playthrough.
Like factory in 7, no, in 8.
There isn't a factory in 7. 7's the ship.
Yeah, that's the part of 7 I hate. I liked everything in 7 before the ship.
With 7,
When
and
I got to that, I was not happy.
I've made this point a couple of times, right? In 7, I think what they could have done, get rid of the ship, right? Don't need it. Completely get rid of the ship section.
Or have it so you're playing as Ethan. Why am I playing as Mia? It makes no sense.
I think that was to sort of fill in what had gone on with Mia, obviously, beforehand.
Yeah, but you could have done that in a videotape.
Yeah. There was lots of different ways that they could have brought that into the story. I didn't like the ship. I'm not. You can't convince me that it's a section that was worth playing. I think there's
because I got lost.
So did I, yeah.
I remember I streamed it for the first time, my first playthrough, because I refused to play it for years because they put it in first person, but yeah, whatever, another story. And I remember I got to the ship and I was really angry, and I remember Perrault coming in, and I said to her, I was like, right, you speedrun this shit, you tell me where to go now, girl. You tell me where to go. And she had to literally guide me through the whole thing.
See, for me, when I look back at 7, and I've made this point a good few times, you get, obviously, you the whole point is you're finding this vaccine so that you can cure either your wife or you can cure Zoe, whichever one you choose. Quite simply, don't bring curing Zoe into the equation. Ethan goes and cures Mia. You have the Jack 3 fight.
No, I'm right. No, I'm going to fight you on this. I'm going to fight every fucker on this. Why the fuck would you save Mia? She's been gone for fucking years. She hasn't told you shit about a pass. And you've now had your arm taken off, your leg taken off. You've had so much shit done to you because of this stupid bitch, right? I said what I fucking said. What's Zoe done throughout the whole game? She has guided you. She has rang you, made sure you're okay. She's gave you a little bird box thing so you can get yourself a decent fucking weapon. You can make your health even better. You can do this, you can do that. I fucking saved her. What happened? I got the shit ending. What's the fucking point? What's the fucking point? Because they kill her off anyway. Sorry, spoiler alert. But.
Do they? Whoa. Do they?
You know what I mean. The only thing I really enjoyed about 7 was the DLC where you're playing as like the uncle.
Yeah.
And you're using the fists. I fucking loved that. That was so fucking good. They should do more shit like that.
So the point I was going to make.
Sorry, carry on.
So you have Ethan obviously goes to rescue Mia, which is what he's there to do. You then end up fighting Jack as Jack 3. For me, that would have been a perfect ending point.
No. I don't like how you had to fight him at the end. His last boss fight pissed me off.
Why?
Because they did the whole Resi 5 thing of shoot the orange parts.
Yeah, true.
Shoot the eye, shoot the orange part. Boring, over it. The whole game hasn't been that, yet you've made him like that. He was your most interesting fucking villain.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I can understand that. I just thought that would have been a sensible point to end the game. Purely because you could have actually involved the Bakers for longer in the series instead of just introducing them into this game. And I thought the Bakers were brilliant. I really enjoyed the Bakers.
Yeah.
And you both bring them in and get rid of them in the same game. And I don't understand why.
I guess. But would you really want them to stick around? Like they weren't exactly amazing. They were just funny.
I suppose. I think one of
Was that because? But realistically, is that because they're rednecks? Yes. It made it 10 times better. Fighting Jack constantly, and he's like shouting shit to you. Loved it. You know, when he's got like the big scissory things, whatever that is. Fucking love that fight. Like, let's go,
Yeah.
mate. Let's go.
That
1v1.
that is a good fight. I really struggled with that actually the first time I got around to it. I mean, obviously now I can take it down
He's a
like a
fucking
piece of piss
brute.
because I know what I'm doing. Oh Christ, is he? Christ, is he? But he's also like, what I like the most about Jack is obviously you end up fighting Marge as well. In fact, do you know what you fight? Do you actually fight any of
Yeah, I
the
don't
other
really like
papers?
her fight. I wasn't a fan of it. Sorry to offend anybody. Everyone's just like, oh, she's so creepy because she's got like a wiggly vagina or whatever it is. But I don't care about that. She's quite boring. Like, yeah, she crawls on the ceiling, but that's about it. She's nothing special.
Yeah.
But no, you don't fight the other guy. What's his name? The one that toys around with you.
Lucas.
Yeah, him. I quite liked him, but I
Yeah,
don't think you fuck him up. I can't remember. I don't remember fucking him up
you don't fight him in the main game. I
because I'm pretty
think
sure there's a. I think if you finish 8, is it? I think it's if you finish 8 or you finish 7 a certain way, you get all like the like backlogs of it all. It's quite interesting read.
you don't fight Lucas in the main game of 7. You have his trial. You don't fight him.
Yeah, with the birthday cake.
That was fun.
I don't know. I've only played it twice.
I did enjoy that part because I remember when I was doing a first playthrough of 7 and I got to that section and I kept pulling the windy key out of that oil barrel. So I kept dying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I'm lighting this candle like I'm supposed to do in a room that's filling up with oil and I'm dying. Like, the room's setting on fire, I'm being burnt alive. What am I supposed to do? And
You're doing it wrong.
somebody in chat eventually just told me, well, Liam, you know that barrel that's pumping oil out that you're taking the windy key out of? Yeah. Don't take the windy key. I'm like, but I need to because I need to find out, I need to use it on the clown. Like, but why do you? He's going to sketch a password into your arm. You've already seen it. You know what the password is. You don't need the key. And I'm like, shit, yeah.
Bloody hell.
But I had to get help.
I don't think I really needed help on that game apart from the ship, just because I had no ammo, didn't know what I was doing, and I was lost. No, 7 was okay. I prefer the beginning of 7 though.
Well, 100%.
Definitely. Because even the ending against the little girl, or whatever her name is, Evelyn.
Yeah.
That was a shit fight. She's just in the wall. It made me think of Resi 6.
It was just weird. Like,
I'm sure Resi 6 has a fight like that from the Aid campaign.
I mean, it sort of made sense to a degree that it turned out to be the grandma, because then that explained...
Yeah, because she's always there. And it wouldn't let you point the gun at her.
Yeah, it explained, you know, why is this creepy little grandma just appearing in certain places? Like, I don't get it. That made a lot of sense. But then for her to transform the way that she did, I'm like, well, that fucking escalated quickly. Like this big...
Yeah, but then you see
face.
Chris at the end.
No. Right. You're going to argue your point with everybody. I'm going to argue my point with everybody. That was not Chris Redfield. I'm not fucking having it. I'm not having it.
It doesn't look like Chris. It doesn't sound like Chris. Like, who the fuck's that guy? And he's just like, hi, I'm Redfield. And it's just like, are you? Are you?
But no, you're not, though, mate. Like,
that ain't my boulder punching cunt, do you know what I mean?
So you see Chris in 5? Big, jacked up dude, obviously been on steroids, punching boulders and shit.
Steroids.
You see him in Village, alright, not quite so obviously steadied up or out like that.
Oh, he's huge in that as well.
Yeah, he's still a big guy.
He's still jacked, mate. He's jacked.
He's still got a physical presence about him. I'm sorry, but that guy that turned up in Resident Evil 7, he had the physique of me. Like, he was a little weed. He was tiny. It's like, who is
not
this
even
man?
that. It's his face that doesn't look like Chris. Like, you think about the movies, the little TV things they do, the games. He's always had... Yeah, they changed their face, but he's always had a similar face.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You can,
the only time they've really
changed
it is Jill.
So even with Jill though, I feel like you can look at Jill in any of the Resident Evil games and know that you're looking at Jill. She doesn't look the same in
Apart from
all
3
of them.
remake.
Yeah, that's fair. I think.
Because if you think about Jill in 3 remake, I'm gonna say something now, and I might upset your chat. I cannot stand Jill in 3 remake. She pisses me off. The shit she says, the shit she does, makes no fucking sense. You're meant to be a badass hoe, and you ain't. But yeah, said what I said.
A badass hoe. So what would she have had to have done in the remake then to make her a badass hoe?
Not be such a pussy. Like something falls down, it's the constantly the same repeated thing. You hear it about 5 times in the game. So
Did she just say,
I said
I
that upset
might...
the chat, not your chap.
He knew what you said. He's just trying to be funny now. He knew what you said. Now,
Oh.
Now the funny thing about this is, obviously, I know what your answer's going to be. However,
Oh, okay.
it is a podcast. It's got a Resident Evil theme to it, so I'm going to ask you a Resident Evil themed question.
Okay.
What's one Resident Evil game that everybody else loves that you can't stand, and why?
Oh God. Code Veronica. What a shit game.
So I'm just going to...
I shall explain. I will explain myself right now. Let's talk about Code Veronica, shall we? Let me get comfortable.
It's alright, she'll notice in a minute.
But
She'll notice in a minute, guys.
I know I've disappeared.
Go on.
Anyway, what's better? I'd rather play Resident Evil 6, mate. At least that's co-op.
Oh, nah, right, come on. I was just kidding around.
Right, so Code Veronica. Let's talk about it. It's tank control. And it's set camera angle, which I'd all be for. I would be. Except it's a terrible game. It's pointless. It makes no sense. Claire, yeah, okay, we get to play as Claire. Love that. But you should be lucky thumbs down. Oh, sorry. I'm not sorry though. I'm very opinionated.
Yeah, she's really not even slightly sorry.
Right. So I have no issue with the bosses. I have issue with the zombies. They're shit. They're boring. Then you've got Steve.
Steve, I know what you're going to say about Steve, and I'll agree with you on it.
It makes no sense because all you see of him is that he's a child. He acts like a child. He looks like a child. Yeah, he's constantly pushing on Claire. Claire's asleep in the in the plane? I can't even remember. I haven't played it in years.
Yeah.
Tries to kiss her. And then he turns into a big green fucking goblin hawk motherfucker. Starts crying about it, and then he's just like, oh, I love you. You've known each other 10 hours. If that. What the fuck's that about? Makes no fucking sense. And then you get to play as Chris. Wonderful Chris, again. I'm waiting for the day they kill him off. I really am. If they don't kill him off in the next game, I will be pissed off. Because one of them needs to go, and it's got to be him. He's the most used character. Like, the most used. But then you get to play as him, and then you got to share your items. I'm not about that. And then you get to a fight, where I'm assuming it's Alexia, and she's like spitting fire bullshit, yeah? Like some fucking anime bullshit. I don't like that fight. Why the fuck's Wesker disappeared on me? Help me, motherfucker. Help me. And then you get to the end of the fucking game, and I'm pretty sure Wesker's doing some like fucking mad red-eye crazy shit at you. What the fuck's that about? No, fuck that game. Don't like it. And the boss fight at the end as well, where she's like a fucking bee. Or whatever it is. Like, what a stupid fucking fight. And there's shit on the floor, and it's just like, why are you attacking me? I'm trying to aim this fucking rocket launcher at you, and I'm not hitting you, and you can go get fucked. But yeah, other than that, shit game. I'd rather play Zero, and I hate Zero as well.
Wow.
But yeah, sorry. Went on a little bit too long there.
I'm not so sure asking you that question was a good idea now.
I did say I'm opinionated. But
It seems like you've been wanting to tell me all of that for a long time, and the best of it is you've told me before.
I know. I'll say it in your chat. I don't care.
Like you got
I'll come in and be like,
really
oh, what
into
you play this
that.
for? I can't think what else happens. There's some geezer at the start. I'm pretty sure he dies though. It gives you a lighter. That's about it. I can't
Yeah,
remember anyone
Rodrigo.
else.
Yeah, he's the guy
Hmm?
that Rodrigo is called. He's the guy that captures Claire in the first place. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, and then wouldn't let her out or some shit. See, the opening to the game, the opening cutscene, fucking loved that. That was hype.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, bitch, let's go. But then afterwards, no. I didn't even like the hunters in the game. They were really shit. I don't know. It just wasn't. It wasn't done well.
So
And the only reason it went to plat is because everyone was hyped about it, and then they played the game and didn't like it. Obviously, the Resi community is going to like it, but everyone else that plays game, they were just like, compared to all the rest, it's not on par. It's like going to the remakes. 3 is not on par with the rest. It's just not.
no, I can agree with that.
Like,
I don't think 3 deserves as much hate as what it gets. Simply because I know everybody.
I disagree.
Well, okay, let me make the point. Right?
Okay,
Everybody
you make
bangs
the point.
on about cut content from Resident Evil 3 Remake. Like, you're missing the clock tower, you're missing this, you're missing that. It's cut a load of content. There's a lot of
Yeah.
content that was cut from Resident Evil 2 Remake, and nobody talked about it anywhere near as much as what they do with 3.
Yeah. I'm not going to interrupt you. Sorry. Carry on.
No, that was my point.
Okay, right. So let's talk about the remakes. Okay, we'll start with 2. In my eyes, masterpiece. Look at how everybody looks in that game.
Yeah.
Everybody. Amazing. Look at Sherry, little legs. They actually gave her a story. It was so fucking good. Loved it.
Yeah, that was a great
With that
addition.
geezer, Chief Irons. Fucking loved that part. Everyone's just like, it's so boring. You don't get to do anything. Yeah, you get to fucking play hide and seek. I love that. Anyway, like the bits that they cut. Okay, your scenario bullshit, sure, but it also needs to make sense. And then you've got the whole, oh yeah, there's no spiders in it, there's no crows, whatever. Who gives a fuck, really?
Yeah, I
Look at
don't
the
care
fucking
about that.
zombies. Look at what they did with the zombies. No other game's done that. I don't care what anyone says. To the point of, you go down that first hallway when you crawl under, you shit yourself. The first time you played it in the dark.
Yeah.
It's not fucking easy. Because then motherfuckers will come at you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they are
And then the
a lot
whole
aggressive.
Mr. X, I fucking loved it. Fantastic. Like, even Birkin loved it. So fucking good. 10 out of fucking 10. Everything. You get to 3. Everyone knows who the main boss is in 3. It's Nemi. Now, my big qualm with it is the fact that they put no effort into him. He just appears for 2 parts of the game. Other than that, you got Dog Nemi. Acid Nemi fight pissed me off. Why are you swinging your massive schlong at me? I'm not interested in that. I want to fight you with Tentacle Nemi. You know, how we all remember it. Because it's a good fucking fight.
Yeah.
Not a fucking pit with zombies being released everywhere and Dog Nemi just slapping you around. Fuck that shit. Carlos, however, amazing. Love that. The whole part with him, I loved. But should it have been Jill to go to the police station? Yes, it should have.
Yeah, I can
Not him.
agree with that.
Like, I don't know.
I think one
I'm
of
just very-
3 Remake's biggest problems is quite simply 2 Remake. It was, I mean, I completely agree with everything that you've said there about 2 Remake.
But they were different developers. That was the issue.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
palmed it off again.
That
So
is very
so
true.
the team that did 4 remake were the ones that did 2. Yeah, amazing. The people that did Village, same thing, amazing. You get 3 remake. It comes out a year after 2. Is it a year after 2? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it's more expensive. It was £10 more expensive. I know. I bought both because Resi 2 was 45 quid, 55 for Resi 3. I pre-ordered both. Yeah, it's a more expensive game with shit content. Yeah, you haven't got all these places, but you also haven't got the fights you need. I don't care about picking on the screen, are you going to fight Nemi or not? That's not what I'm getting at. It's just the actual fights with him aren't good. Like you see him with the rocket launcher, you have to run away. Why? I want to fucking fight him. He's got fucking flamethrower. Okay, I get to fight him there, but you're locked in. Do you know what I mean? He's not chasing you at that point, which makes no sense to me. Does that kind of make sense?
No,
and the whole Gamma Hunter thing as well. I'm not a fan of them.
No,
They're too big.
They were just strange. It was a really strange, unneeded addition. Because the only difference in the hunters in any of the original games, you've got the difference between the types of hunters in 3. You've got the normal hunters. You've got the normal hunters, and you've got the blue hunters that are in the hospital. As far as I know, the only difference is the normal hunters will kill you with the claws. The blue hunters, the amphibious hunters, if you like, they can eat you. That's the only difference. They look the same apart from being different coloured. Physique-wise, they're exactly the same. There's 2 different types of hunters in Code Veronica. You've got the hunters, as we know them, which are green.
And then you've got the red ones.
The red ones can poison you. That's the only difference. The only difference with the different types of hunters have just been colour.
Yeah.
Everything else has, physique-wise, they've looked exactly the same. So why did they need to change it? I just don't understand.
But then if you read the notes as well, what's the geezer that gives you the weapons? I can't remember his name. Kendo. Apparently he's in on it. That's what they're basically saying. I read the notes. It's just like, hold up. It's like when you get the grenade launcher or whatever it is in 3 Remake. Oh yeah, Kendo made this because he knows. No, he doesn't. He's not meant to know. He's meant to be helping stars. That's how it's always been. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I've never pieced that together before, because when you meet Kendo in Resident Evil 2 Remake, he's going on about... He goes in on Leon. Like, what's going on? How has all this happened? How have you let this happen? But then you get to 3 Remake... Keep in mind...
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and also keep in mind that canonically, 2 and 3 are happening basically at the same time. So if in number 2... Kendo doesn't know what's going on, how in the space of less than 48 hours has he learnt about these new types of hunters and been able to develop a weapon that can beat them? That makes no sense.
But his whole thing is, he knows the STARS members, he makes the guns for them, that's why they all have a slightly different gun. And, sorry, my throat's gone. Obviously you play 2 Remake, you see him, and it's like really fucking sad because you know what he's about to do.
Yeah,
and then you get to 3 and you read the notes. You get the grenade launcher. There's a note next to it. Oh, Kendo made that for us. He's not working for Umbrella, and he's also not working for Chief Irons. He works for Stars. Well, he technically works for himself, but he serves Stars members.
Yeah.
In particular, because he makes some custom weapons. But yeah, just thought I'd point out a plot hole.
I can't believe I've never pieced that one together. But going back to what I was trying to get at, though, is I believe that one of the issues with Resident Evil 3 was Resident Evil 2. If they would have been released the other way round, then I think people would have received Resident Evil 3 a lot better. Simply because, and I agree with the problems that people point out with 3 Remake, about the cut content, about the parts that don't make sense. But if that had come out... without you being able to compare it to what a masterpiece Resident Evil 2 Remake was, I don't believe that people would have gone in on it as anywhere near as much.
I think they would have, because I think if they did 3 first, it wouldn't have sold. It would never sell as well as 2 anyway, because 3 was always the one that was left behind. Because you think about, you ask a normal person, let's just say you're out in the pub, whatever, and they say, oh yeah, I've played the Resi games. You ask them their favourite, they'll say 2. Yeah. They always say 2. No one says 3. They always say 1 or 2. 1, 2 or 4. Because 4's on everything. It was the best received game. Like, in existence, on par to Skyrim. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No game has been put on every single system for a reason. Other than that and Skyrim. And Final Fantasy X, I guess. But, you know, that's still not on par to those games.
Yeah.
Because they changed everything. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
But like, even I think if they had the same developers as 2, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
We would have got what we wanted, not what they thought we would want. It's the same when them little horrible little things are like deep throating Jill. That part of the game annoys me. I fucking hate it. Like, I don't want to do that part of the game because I know it's quick, but it's just like, do I have to? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather be thrown in a hallway with a bunch of lickers. At least I know what I'm dealing with. They're not just crawling around everywhere.
No,
I
I
don't
get
know.
you. I do stand by the fact that I think people's main issue with 3 isn't that in its own right it's a bad game. It's just nowhere near as good as what it could and should have been. And you know what? You've just made the point there that I completely agree with. If you get the same development team that worked on 2 Remake and you give them the Resident Evil 3 Remake project, I'd have loved to have seen what they could have come up with.
Yeah, it'd be so much better. Like, you think about OG3 and every encounter you have with Nemi. Yeah? And you see him change. So to the point of you get to Acid Nemi, he's all tentacle. And he's just like, he'll whip you around. Yeah? Where was that? Instead, we got Dog Nemi because he's running out the sewers or wherever it is, the train bit, going in the water, and then he's like suddenly within less than a minute evolved or whatever you want to call it, turned into some massive beast. Like, no, the end fight, yeah, okay, have him look like that instead of a big fucking slug. That fight I enjoyed, but that's more for me the nostalgia of the music. Do you know what I mean? But then they even ruined the voice lines. You want stars? I'll give you stars. But he's chasing you down a hallway and he can interrupt it. That's her one fucking line.
Yeah.
Instead, at the end, she says, take the fucking hint, or whatever she says. No, that's not impactful. You want stars? I'll give you fucking stars. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're waiting for. But no, it gets interrupted if you don't play it quick enough. It's ridiculous. I don't know what they were thinking.
No, I've made that point myself. Like the placement for that line was just it was so I can't even think of the right word to describe it. Like it was shit. There's no other way to describe it. The placement for that line was absolutely shit. And you're dead right. If you're going to use that line in the remake, which you should have done, because from the original it was an iconic line, you do it when she shoves the rail cannon in his mouth.
Exactly. But then, if we're talking about the rail cannon, in theory, if you actually watch the animation for it, it makes the floor crack. She would be blown away, technically, by trying to use that. So that also doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That being said, though, if you look at it from the original, would she have been able to stand so close to a weapon that powerful?
Well, no, she would have had to get out of the room. But then, that's why you see loads of Mr. X's, whatever they're called, the actual name for them, everywhere. Because I think you see 2 of them in the OG. But then if you play Operation Raccoon City? You understand why they're all in there and why it was used.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But I haven't played that game since like it was first released, so I can't really quote much on that.
Oh, dude.
I don't want to get my facts wrong.
It's such a shame what happened with Hawk. I don't know if you're obviously on PC now. You basically can't get your hands on Operation Raccoon City unless you're willing to pay. I think the cheapest that I've seen is about 140 quid, and nobody's paying 140 quid for Operation Raccoon City. Nobody. Why that's happened?
He's have a PlayStation.
Why that's happened? I don't know. I haven't got a clue.
I know it's ridiculous.
I've got it on PC, and I got it on PC for like £20. Then just all of a sudden it disappeared, and now it's on like I say, it's on a few Game Key websites, but for ridiculous money.
But it's like any game, if it's physical anyway, within 10 years it'll be way more expensive. I don't mean like as in PlayStation game, like PS3 onwards, not so much. But anything before that, you think about like trying to get a Final Fantasy game in good condition. Yeah, used, but good condition. You're paying well over 100. Just because it's rare now. It's a rare find.
Yeah, it's a
That's why I
collector's
would never
item now,
throw
isn't it?
mine away. Like, the discs are a bit scratched, but, I know how much money they're worth.
Yeah, because what people like to do now is get that's what I mean. The collector's items now. People like to have displays with all of the different original games, if you like the
Yeah,
PlayStation Ones, the PlayStation Twos, etc., etc. Um, apparently, you can get Orc now on Steam for £53.68, which is still paying
that's
well over the odds for
ridiculous.
that game.
And
Well
that's
over
not
the
even
odds.
physical.
Orc for me, I'm going to be honest. Single player, I thought was shit. I just thought this makes
Single
no
player,
sense
yeah.
at all. Multiplayer, however, I think it's brilliant. Really enjoy it. If you've got the right people. Same with Outbreak. I can't play Outbreak on my own. Get the right group of people together. It's such a laugh.
Yeah, you play with skis and you're just like, help me, please, constantly. Like, let's go, mate.
Well, that is the point because you say that you've got a laptop now, right?
Um, it's not really a laptop, it's my mum's little Chromebook thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just so I
one on
can
your
read the
Chromebook.
chat. It's not very powerful. It's shiny, but yeah.
No, I was going to say if you've got when you manage to get your hands on a laptop or a computer, whether that's a month, 6 months, a year, however long it is, we're gonna
Mhm.
have to get you it's actually being updated now, but we'll have to get you the Outbreak version of the PlayStation 2 emulator, PSX2 or whatever it is. We're gonna have to get
Fuck
you on
yeah.
Outbreak because that'll be a proper fucking laugh. Um, I'm gonna have to start wrapping things up though because I've just seen the time. It's like 1:45. I've been on nearly fucking 12 hours, and I'm in work tomorrow. I've done fuck all.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I do want to ask you though. So you
Oh
right
God.
at the start, you said obviously, you had your time out of Twitch. You were out for nearly a year. You
Hmm.
specifically said that you're coming back and you're going to be back tomorrow. Does that mean that we're seeing Moogle stream consistently again?
Maybe.
No,
Maybe.
no, no, no.
It'll be like 3 times a week. It's not going to be full time.
3 times.
And
That's
none of this, and none of this 12-hour bullshit either, because I ain't got time for it.
that's
Sorry.
that's as much as I stream. Okay, fair enough. I've
Real
ended
life
up
gets in
on.
the way.
Well, like I say, all right. I've ended up on for nearly 12 hours today, but
I know
unless
you're a mad
it's
lad.
unless it's like a pre-advertised thing, like I'm going to do X amount of hours today for this particular reason. It's not often that you see me do a ridiculously long stream now. So
Hmm.
three times a week for a couple of hours, that's about as much as I stream.
True.
What we
But
playing?
probably Final Fantasy.
That's
Because I've been on five quite a lot, just trying to get all the weapons to get enough money back. And I'm not ready to do professional yet, so I need all my good shit.
last question. Is it going to
Okay?
be? Are you going to have like set days and times, or is it just going to be fuck it, I fancy streaming?
It'll be fuck it, because if I try and put myself on a schedule and then something comes up, I then can't do it. So,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
So I
Because
mean, that's
my
the thing. Like,
everything's a bit up in the air right now.
no, I get that. I mean, obviously, I understand why. People say that to get consistent, you need a set schedule. And for a lot of people, that works. Don't get me wrong. If you've got
Yeah,
a
it works when you
lifestyle,
don't have a job, in my opinion. Like, you can do it all the time, every day. That's what I did during lockdown, loved it, until I burnt myself out doing 70 hours in 1 week. And I was just like, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore. Because everyone's just like, oh, but you're just playing a game for that long. Yeah, it's not just that though. It's talking to the chat for that long, keeping them entertained, keeping yourself entertained, keeping yourself fed,
yeah.
drank up, all this kind of shit. It's not easy, but
No, I've
you
made
know,
this point a lot of times. Like people say that exactly as you've just phrased it there. People say like, "Well, what's the matter with you? You just sat playing a computer game." And no, it's not the same. We,
yeah, but you
without
need to be in the
blowing,
mood to do it.
yeah, of course, and without blowing smoke up our own asses. At the end of the day, we're entertaining people. That's what we do.
Yeah,
There are people that are coming into our channels to watch us play a computer game and act the way that we act. You know, it's not just
Exactly.
sitting playing a game. That's all. There's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, it's like when I did the 19-hour one. I say 24 hours, 19 hours. Like I got to I think 50 hour 15, and I was so tired. I just had no energy to talk to anybody. I
Yeah.
had to get people in the chat to start doing it for me to make me laugh because I was just so done. Because you sat down for that long.
That's when the
And
burn really kicks in. But obviously, I've done it a few times now. I think I've done about 4 or 5, and a couple of failed ones as well. um, you find that anywhere between hours 21 to 22, the last 2 hours of a 24-hour stream, piece of piss. They are a piece of piss because you've got that adrenaline then. Like, oh, fucking hell,
yeah,
I'm
you got the
actually about to
motivation.
do it. But I'd say from 14 hours in, 14 hours in is when it really fucking starts to hit you. Especially because you're then
Hmm.
thinking, shit, I've been on 14, 15 hours already and I'm nowhere
Yeah.
near finished. Like, I'm so far in, but I'm so far away from the end that it is
Hmm.
such a burn. Like, if there's
I
anybody
think
in the
like
chat that's... Go on, sorry.
no, you carry on.
I,
I'll have my 2 cents afterwards.
I was just simply going to say, if there's anybody in the chat that hasn't done one before and is thinking about doing it, I'm not going to say do it. I'm not going to say don't do it. But just make sure you're prepared for what you're letting yourself in for, because it ain't fucking easy.
Yeah, but like it's just the whole. Can't remember what I was gonna say now. It's just the whole just chatting for that long.
Hmm.
It's just it's so tiring.
Oh, before I
What's it
forget
say?
again, Liam Moggle said you need to get Overwatch. Who the fuck's Moggle?
Muggle.
Who the fuck is Moggle?
Who's she?
Have you heard of this chick, Moogle? I can't type.
We know.
I was going to say something a lot worse, but I need to be mindful that I'm ripping this section and putting it on YouTube, so I need to watch what I'm saying.
Oh God, are you?
Oh yeah, every one of them goes on YouTube. That tells me you've not seen my YouTube channel. The fuck are you doing? Grassed yourself up there, didn't you?
Look, yeah. I use YouTube for one thing, for Overwatch and for music, and that's it.
I'm just going to pretend like that's not just really cut me deep. No, but anyhow, Moogle, I just want to say a massive thank you for coming on. I know obviously, like I said at the
Right.
start, we've been trying to get it sorted for a while, and then real life gets in the way and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I've wanted you on here for a while, simply because like I know just how
Because I rant.
direct and to the point you are. I think it's fucking brilliant. Absolutely love it.
Oh God.
Let me get you a quick shout out in the chat. So you're on tomorrow, yeah?
At some point, yeah. Don't know
Ready?
when. Depends when I wake up.
Whenever.
I can't even remember the line.
It's just goes Barry.
I can hear a clip,
It's a
but
monster.
I can't see. At least it's come up with.
care of it.
It's
Let
alright.
me
I
handle
don't think
this.
I think I've only got like 2 clips left.
What is it?
I deleted a lot of shit. It's so old.
Right, what
Right.
are we meant to be doing on
Well,
this?
I'll tell you what. I'm not going to ask you for the
After all,
time
just completely
when you're
fucked up
going
the-
live, but you have to advertise it on Discord when you do.
So.
I didn't catch a word of that. You might seem to cut out a bit.
Oh no. Is this headset's new? I said I suppose so.
I mean, I'm not asking. If you're going live, I've got to be there.
Alright. Alright. Pipe down, mate. Pipe down.
Right. Thanks again, Moogle. And I will speak
Alright.
to you again soon.
Alright. Thanks guys. See you later.
Bye bye. Mate, I don't think I've ever met anybody in my life that is just so upfront and direct as that, but yet so lovable. Like, Moogle is absolutely brilliant. She's one of my closest friends on the platform for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Mainly because she is the type of friend that I know full well. If I go to her and I start ranting about something that's pissed me off, and it's me that's in the wrong, she's not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, no, you're dead right. She's going to be, no, Liam, you've been a dick. Like, you've been a dick, sort yourself out. And you know, I appreciate people like that. But, guys, I'm starting to waffle now, and I'm starting to waffle because I'm tired. And I'm tired because I've been on for nearly 12 fecking hours. So, we are going to wrap things up there.